prevailed in quickly capturing 58-year-old Ryan Ruth.
Former President Donald Trump had a second assassination attempt on Sunday.
Car thefts are continuing around campus. How students are responding.
A special event now awaits as Syracuse University faces off against Stanford University this Friday for the 44th anniversary at the JMA Wireless Dome.
All that plus your weather and orange sports coming up on this edition of Mornings on the Hill.
Good morning. I'm Vanaya Johnson. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Zatazia Duffy. Here's a look at today's top story.
The Newhouse School is 1 year older, turning 60 years old this past August.
Our Mikey Lamar joins us live on campus with more on this celebration.
I'm standing here where Newhouse 1, 2, and 3 all connects. Now, the SI Newhouse School is continually innovating and adding renovations, but their latest one means just a little more than some of the others. This past August, to celebrate the Newhouse School's 60th anniversary, the space in the heart of the Newhouse complex was renamed. Donald Newhouse, the son of S.I. Newhouse, was also in attendance and gave some important history on the school's inception.
$15 million, the equivalent to $150 million in today's currency, to fund the building of the School of Public Communications.
Chancellor Kent Siverud had the honor to unveil the renaming of the space.
In honor of lifetime contributions to the vibrancy of this school, it's my pleasure with Donald and with Dean Lodato to formally honor you by renaming the space behind us as the Newhouse Family Plaza.
Now, although S.I. Newhouse is no longer here with us to see just how far his donation and his impact has came, his impact and legacy will forever live on through this campus. For Mornings on the Hill, I am Mikey Lamar.
Thanks, Mikey. Now to Syracuse University's football team. They will face Stanford in the Dome this weekend. Will SU keep its winning streak?
Nico Horning joins us live with a preview of this Friday's Syracuse bye game after their week. Nico?
Well, some extra sleep is always nice, guys, and Syracuse football had a chance to do just that and regroup before Stanford travels across the country to the Dome. Friday night marks the first time ever the Orange and the Cardinals square off. SU head coach Fran Brown is excited to welcome Stanford to the Salt City. Stanford stands in the bottom third of the ACC, but this is a sneaky team. The Cardinal kept it close at home against TCU before coming up just short and then demolished Cal Poly in week 2. Stanford also had last week off, and for the Orange, it's been an exciting 2-0 start to the season, including a ranked win over Georgia Tech, and quarterback Kyle McCord has thrown for over 350 yards and 4 touchdowns in each. The Ohio State transfer leads the ACC in passing yards per game, and with all of the recent success, Coach Brown doesn't want his team to get caught up in the opponent, but at the same time, he wants his guys to have fun with the fact that both teams get to travel back and forth.
I'm happy to be able to go play them. I'm happy to go out to California. I'm happy that Stanford gets to come here, battle of the Block S, I guess,
Battle of the Block S, maybe that's a staple that'll kick off next Friday night at 7:30 between Syracuse and Stanford. It should be a fun atmosphere in the Dome, guys.
Micron Technology is facing public backlash since they announced their plan to build a manufacturing plant in central New York. Two federal agencies issued formal letters saying that Micron's construction plans may result in substantial and unacceptable impacts to the environment.
The Environmental Protection Agency wants more information on the tech company's construction plans. As for now, Micron would destroy more than 200 acres of wetlands in the town of Clay.
The Syracuse Police Department is saying that property crimes has significantly increased this year.
Most of the crimes happening within the campus's neighborhood. Our reporter, Max Williams, is live from campus with how students are reacting.
Hey, good morning, guys. About 1,481 property crimes have been reported in the university neighborhood. Now, that's the second highest number of this type of crime than any other part of the city.
The glass all over the driveway, over the back seat.
Eric Finley is a Syracuse University student. Just a few days ago, his car window was smashed in the middle of the night.
I walk outside, and sure enough, my window's broken. And I look in the back, and I was like, what could they have walked off with? And then I realized I didn't bring my laptop in that night before.
Finley is not alone. Syracuse police say they are trying to tackle a spike in property crime around the Syracuse University neighborhood. The department recently leaving this message on students' doors reading, "There's been an increase in juvenile crime. Please report any suspicious activities."
We take this personally, for sure. It's not something we take lightly.
According to the Syracuse Police Department, property crimes range anywhere from a burglary to cars being stolen, and they are up by 19% compared to last year, bringing the total number of this type of crime this year to 4,022.
Are we doing enough? That's certainly something that we're constantly evaluating. And so there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of components of this that the police cannot do on their own.
But when Finley called in to report his car was broken into, he was left on his own.
I filed a police report, and they haven't even really gotten back to me on it. They wouldn't send an officer out day of.
Syracuse police say they're doing everything they can to stop property crime, but there's only so much they can do.
It takes everybody. I know the police are doing their part. I know they're frustrated. I know the public's frustrated. But we have to work together and kind of come up with the right response.
And it's so true. It certainly takes the whole community. This is just something that Syracuse students are going to have to think about on a daily basis. Syracuse Police Department telling me that everyone needs to lock their cars, lock their doors, and of course, take those valuable items out of your car. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Max Williams.
Let's take a quick look at the weather right now.
Zach Cord is outside with an update.
Hey, welcome out to Newhouse Plaza. It's a beautiful day out here right now. Taking a look at the numbers, we're just under 60 degrees, and it feels like it too. Some clouds in the sky and a little bit of eastern wind, but we're going to be warming up to about the 80s as we get through the day into the afternoon. In just a little bit, I'll have a weather update as we go into the fall season starting this weekend on Sunday. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Zach Card. Back to you guys in the newsroom.
Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, new fallouts from a deadly pager attack in Lebanon.
Plus, what we know about
It's
the
mile
former
marker
president's
112
assassination
on
attempt.
I-9.
Stay tuned.
Welcome to Live from Studio B.
Welcome to another episode of Culturally and Technically Legal.
Previously on Survivor.
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for easy consumption.
Former President Donald Trump faced an assassination attempt at his Florida golf club earlier this week. He is safe and unharmed after the second attempt on his life in just 2 months.
That's right. The suspect, 58-year-old Ryan Ruth, has been charged with multiple gun charges and is expected in court next week. If convicted, he will face up to 20 years in prison. Ruth has actively criticized Trump on his X account, as well as voiced passionate support for Ukraine. Trump responded to the attack, blaming the Biden-Harris campaign for negative political rhetoric. Take a listen.
President Biden called me yesterday. It was very nice. We had a very nice conversation. A little while ago, I got a very nice call from Kamala. No, it was very nice. It was very nice. It was very, very nice, and we appreciate that. But we have to take back our country.
At least 9 people were killed and almost 3,000 injured in an attack in Lebanon yesterday. Pagers used by hundreds of members of the militant group Hezbollah exploded in what may have been a highly complex attack carried out by Israel. The initial assessment of the attack is that the pagers exploded due to a device placed inside.
Hezbollah operatives say the group ordered more than 5,000 new pagers in the last year, all of which were distributed to its members. This scenario indicates that Israel found a way to Hezbollah's supply chain to modify these new devices. This apparent attack by Israel is the latest in the near year-long conflict between the two groups. The Marine Board of Investigation, the U.S. Coast Guard's highest form of investigation, is currently holding a hearing about the deadly Titan submersible disaster last June. The submersible imploded while on a deep-sea exploration mission, killing 5 people. This submersible planned to visit the wreckage of the Titanic, but disappeared for days without contact.
This investigation is examining all aspects of the lost submersible, including its safety, the crew's qualifications, and other aspects in hopes of a clear explanation of what happened. Shocking testimonies have already begun to come out about OceanGate and its CEO. This hearing is expected to last around 2 weeks and may result in anything from new regulations to criminal charges.
Sean Diddy Combs has been denied bail following his arrest. In a federal indictment issued on Tuesday, Combs pled not guilty to charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. On Monday night, the rapper was arrested at a hotel in Manhattan and taken into custody. This comes after a lengthy investigation and sexual assault lawsuits.
Combs' lawyers suggested a $50 million bond, but prosecutors argue that he is a threat to the community. He is expected to appeal his bail denial in a federal court this afternoon. If convicted, Combs faces a lifelong prison sentence.
Time to check for your weather today.
Zach Card is in the studio with a look at our full weather forecast.
Hey, thanks guys. Outside, it hasn't changed much. We're still in the high 50s to low 60s, but let's get going. Planning on your day for tomorrow. We start the morning in mid 60s, about 65, but that will quickly warm up as we get into the afternoon and hit 81 degrees as our high for the day. That'll tailor off into the rest of the night, and no rain for the day, but some cloudy skies. We won't have any rain for the rest of the weekend. Speaking of the weekend, let's take a look at that 5-day forecast. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, high of 81, but as we get into Friday for the football game against Stanford, we'll have some great tailgating weather before the game in the Dome, with some partly cloudy skies and a high in the mid-70s. Going into the weekend, we tailor off a little bit and get into those fall weathers that we'll start to see on Sunday and Monday. Sunday marks the start to the fall season with some low temperatures, 71, 68, and we'll get into some more fall temperatures as we move through the week. That's your 5-day forecast. Back to the desk.
Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, alumni are making us proud. A former Syracuse basketball player is developing a nonprofit organization.
Plus, another football alum is headed to the big leagues. Stay tuned.
Am I the only one who values Heat as a cinematic masterpiece? This is truthfully one of the best movies I've seen in a long time.
Easily top 10 animated movies of all time.
Hey, I'm Truman.
I'm Ro, and this week we're reviewing Lisa Frankenstein.
What's up, movie lovers? I'm Dylan.
And I'm Jake. And today we're going to be reviewing Madam Web.
Hey everybody, I'm Gabe.
And I'm Dylan.
And it is the 2024 Review Crew Academy Awards Extravaganza. Woo!
Good morning, I'm Alexi Kuslis with a look at your sports news. Just this past week, former athletes were on campus for the Celebrity Classic reunion basketball game. We are always interested in keeping track of what the alumni are up to. One former SU basketball alumni, John Bull Ajak, you see him scoring here, number 2, or Bull, to anyone who knows him, has been developing a nonprofit organization, the Humboldt Fund. This organization provides children in Kenya and South Sudan with possibilities they did not receive in refugee camps through education. Bull is personally connected to these children's struggles. His story began at 15 years old when he moved to the States with his mother to flee the Civil War. Bull's mission is to grant African children with a higher education, eventually bringing them to the States. The Humboldt Fund has established partnerships to create scholarships for these children. For more Syracuse alumni stories, here's Geraldine.
Thanks, Alexia. Now another great story for Orange alumni is Indianapolis Colts linebacker Zaire Franklin. Franklin made a big impact for Syracuse as a two-time All-ACC selection and playing all 48 games during his 4 seasons. Now Franklin continues to make an impact in the NFL. In Sunday's game against the Packers, Franklin made one of the biggest plays of the game, stripping Packers quarterback Josh Jacobs at the 1-yard line just before he broke into the end zone. While the game did not go in favor of the Colts, ending 16-10 for the Packers, Franklin said during the post-game press conference, stopping the run is a mentality. You can see this mentality in his projected stuff stats, which is the percentage of runs stopped at the line of scrimmage, making it hard for teams to move the ball through him as a force to be reckoned with on defense. Past to present, Nathaniel now has more on the current SU football team. Nathaniel?
Thanks, Geraldine. Well, as SU football returns to the field for the first time in 13 days this Friday, the last time we saw them, they exploded for nearly 400 aerial yards. The Qs boast one of the top offenses in the entire country. It's nearly 500 yards of total offense per game, puts them at 15th in the nation. And while Kyle McCord may be throwing the dots, the receiving core, they're the ones truly making the plays. So I've got a couple behind me that we'll break down here. First, this happened back at Ohio. And something I want to note is all these 2 defenders out here. You might be wondering, it's just a normal 4-man set. But what's really special about this is you're going to see these outside receivers cut in. They're going to take this DB and that defender, and it's going to allow this wide receiver to go towards the sideline and cut up field. You're going to see Trebor Pena absolutely burst towards the outside, and once he gets past there, there's defenders that just come in and collapse, and it's an easy touchdown for Syracuse, and it couldn't have come at a bigger time. 10 seconds left in the first half. This is when you need to make that play, and it went out and happened. Syracuse does this a lot. They have the pieces to move, and you'll just see them cut and create confusion for defenses. That's an easy 6 for Syracuse, but they didn't just do it against Ohio. They get it against a top 25 team in the country in Georgia Tech. Take a look here. This time, it's 5-man out. But this play is not designed for anybody but Oronde Gadsden. They know the speed that they have. And so when you have a guy like LaQuinn Allen and Jackson Meeks who are so fast, you put them on the outside and you run them straight up. Oronde Gadsden is going to know he can get past this defensive back. And this safety, he's going to try to get it in the tail. So he's going to cut towards this outside corner, cut back in, and he'll be wide open for an easy 6. And again, at a right time when you need it. Late in the first half, you're up a score, you go up 2 scores. This was one of those plays that really, really pushed Syracuse in that big win. You see Oronde's wide open over the middle. That is just the level of skill that the Syracuse wide receiving core has. Kyle McCord, he's elite at getting the ball where it needs to go, but the receivers, they're very good at catching the ball, creating space, and doing everything that they need to do. So, Geraldine, this team is just incredible.
Still to come here on Mornings on the Hill, reporter Autumn Ryan will be in studio with our biggest entertainment stories of the week.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Juice. I'm Autumn Ryan. Let's get into the top squeezes of the week. Syracuse native Post Malone had a sold-out show for his F1 Trillion Tour stop at the Empire Federal Credit Union Amphitheater on Saturday night. Dan Spencer and Muscadine Bloodline opened the show. Malone came out on stage and showed love to our very own university in the Auto Orange t-shirt. Tito Jackson, member of the Jackson 5, passed away at the age of 70. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer is the older brother of pop icon Michael Jackson. He leaves behind 3 sons. Former President Donald Trump may not have been pleased with Taylor Swift's recent endorsement of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Following her endorsement on Instagram, Trump tweeted on Sunday, and I quote, "I hate Taylor Swift." Justin Timberlake pled guilty to driving while impaired in New York on Friday. The singer gave a public service announcement in front of the Sag Harbor Police Department, urging drivers not to get behind the wheel after even one single drink. From one pop star to another, Sabrina Carpenter's short and sweet tour kicks off next week at Madison Square Garden. Carpenter just won her first VMA for Song of the Year for her hit, Espresso. Rapper Lil Tecca replaces Party Next Door 5 days before the annual Juice Jam concert on Sunday at JMA Wireless Dome. On Tuesday, University Union released a statement that due to personal reasons, Party Next Door is no longer able to perform. They announced the new artist on Instagram saying they're excited to have Lil Tecca as the replacement. Lil Tecca will still share the stage with Macy Peters and Smino for the 20th anniversary of Juice Jam. Tickets are still on sale for $20 with SUID, and for the first time ever, the concert is open to the public. Television magic was celebrated on Sunday night at the Emmys. Many actors and actresses left with their shiny new awards. Shogun on FX set the record for the most Emmy wins for one season of television. Lamorne Morris won his first Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actor in the anthology series Fargo. And Jeremy Allen White wins Best Lead Actor in a Comedy Series for The Bear on FX. That's all for the Entertainment Report today. Happy Wednesday, and don't forget to stop by next week for more fresh juice on The Morning Juice. Have a great Wednesday.
Dancing with the Stars aired their 33rd season last night, a series in which celebrities are paired with trained dancers and perform themed dance routines.
This year's episode kicked off with a dance to I'm Alive by Celine Dion in her first debut on the show. Chandler Kinney, paired with pro dancer Brandon Armstrong, scored a 23 out of 30, the highest dance score of the night. Are you a fan of Dancing with the Stars?
I am not, if I'm being honest with you, but I do know who Celine Dion is, so that's, do I get points for that?
You do. What about you, Autumn?
Well, I'm more of an American Idol girl, if I would say so myself.
Okay,
Dancing with the Stars is really nice, though. I enjoy
it is fun. I loved watching Iman Shumpert. Like, that big man can move. That's one of my most exciting seasons, I would say. But I haven't watched the recent episode. But speaking of American Idol, I just love seeing people like get their stardom on television. Really fun stuff.
Well, that is all we have here for today here on Mornings on the Hill. I'm Benaya Johnson. Follow us on social media.
And I'm Zatazia Duffy. Thanks for watching Orange Nation. We'll see you next Tuesday, live at 10 a.m. here on OTN.
Welcome to Live from Studio B.
Welcome to another episode of Culturally and Technically Legal.
Previously on Survivor.
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for easy consumption.